From Seattle, this is the Budweiser Emerald Cup. Brought to you by Champion, makers of Copper Plus, America's best spark plug.
It is an absolutely gorgeous afternoon here in Seattle with better than 200,000 fans either sitting on the shores of Lake Washington or out in one of the several hundred yachts on the log boom which runs down the back straightaway on the east side of this 2-mile course. Hi everybody, I'm Don Poyer along with Jim Kropfeld of the Miss Budweiser, the current national points leader, but that lead is getting slimmer and slimmer all the time, James.
It sure is, Don. You know, with the problem that we had in Pasco not starting that final heat, Chip grabbed an extra 400 points right there by winning, and 400 points in one heat with a 500-point lead on the Budweiser's part, that's a very close race.
Very briefly, hazardous conditions at times out here. You get parallel rollers down the back straightaway.
It's a funny course. It's completely different than any course we run, and the water conditions, they're never the same or typical in any two parts of the race course, and it's a driver's course. It takes a lot of concentration.
Well, the man that's chasing Jim is Chip Hanauer, as Jim referred to, of the Miller American. Jim Hendrick is with him right now.
All right, Don. What about that lead, Chip?
Well, it's still a substantial lead, 530 points, but it's doable now. It's possible. After Miami, the first race of the year, and we didn't start a single heat and being 1,200 points in the hole, I didn't think it'd ever be doable.
This is your hometown race. You know this course pretty good. What about the rough spots?
It's just one big rough spot, I'd say. It's just, what happens is there's got to be 5,000 pleasure boats out there, and they move around all day, and so it's an artificial roughness. It's going a million different directions, and it's rough everywhere on the race course.
Thank you, Chip.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, now let's check the combatants in Heat 1A. Jack Shafer at 105.8 in qualifying will drive the Tempest. Cellular 1 with Todd Yarling at 110.9. HOLSET Miss Madison, Ron Snyder, the driver, at 112.4. Miss 711 Turbine, Steve Reynolds at the wheel, checked in at 125.4. Mr. Pringle's, Scott Pierce at 127.4. And the Miss Budweiser Turbine with Jim Kropfeld, second highest qualifier at 135.6. And that's the way they line up for Heat 1A. And now, Don Poyer, what about 1B?
Jim, we've got an 11-boat field, just like we did last week in Tri-Cities. Here's the rundown for Heat 1B with 5 boats. First of all, the Oh Boy OBERTO with Seattle native George Johnson qualifying at 106.58. Next is the Frank Kenney Unlimited with Milner Irvin out of Florida, 116.26 miles per hour. Coming up next, the AA Auto Supply with Mike Hanson, 118.22 miles per hour. The Z Squire Shop, Tom DeEath aboard in his last race, so he says anyway, qualifying at 127.52. And finally, the Miller American with Chip Hanauer out of Seattle, qualifying at number 1, 140.51 miles per hour. On every racing circuit, there is always at least 1 or 2 very special races during the year. And this is one of them. We're in Seattle, Heat 1A, coming up in just a minute.